Hey guys, welcome to Jersey Fam. So today I'm going to talk about boarding groups at Rise of the Resistance. I've noticed there's a lot of confusion going around as to how you can get one or when you should get one and what time do you need to be at the park. So I'm just going to try to clear some things up just to try to make it easier for everyone. First thing, what is a boarding group? It's a virtual boarding group, so pretty much it's like holding your place in line without you being online, which I mean in a way doesn't sound too bad. I just went this week. I was able to get my boarding group. I got boarding group number 15. When I was called, I pretty much walked right onto the ride. There was no waiting, so it was nice. Alright, so just a few tips. You don't have to show up at the park at 5 o'clock in the morning. There's no reason. Alright, you are not allowed to get a boarding group until the park opening, which this week was 8 o'clock, and they've adjusted most of their schedule to open at 8 o'clock in the morning. So you cannot get a boarding group at 8 o'clock. Just because, and they start letting people in approximately 7 in the morning. So I want to say an hour before they actually open is when they actually start letting you in. And it doesn't matter what time you get in the park or anything like that. You could walk into the park and scan your band at 7:59 and at 8 o'clock still get boarding group number 1. It doesn't matter. As long as you are in the park before the 8 o'clock opening, you're good to go, which you should be. I got there around 6:15, 6:20. There was a lot of people there, but nothing too crazy. I was somewhat close, and it only took me about 20 minutes to get into the park. So if you figure, I was in the park by around 7:15. I think they started letting people in at about like 6:55. So not bad. Alright, a few more tips before I go forward with how to actually get a boarding group. Try not to use the park Wi-Fi. Everybody is on it for the most part. And everyone knows how Wi-Fi is. The more people on it, the slower it is. So you're probably better off using just your cellular data. Another suggestion is just before 8 o'clock, force close out your app. Now, if you don't know what that means, I mean, just because you have your app open and you get out of it, doesn't mean it's force closed. You should look into how to do that, so that way it's a smoother experience for you. Apparently there's some issues with loading when people aren't doing that. I didn't experience it, but I also tried to follow what other people were saying, so I didn't have the issue. So it's just a tip that people are putting out there. A lot of different people are putting out there. And the last tip I'll say is make sure that your tickets and everything are connected to your My Disney experience, and everybody that you want to go on the ride with is connected on your friends and family through the My Disney experience app. Once you go through there, you'll have to choose everybody you want to go on with, and if they're not there, they're not getting on. Or it's going to take you more time, and there's a chance that you're not going to get a boarding group. So make sure that's all done before 8 o'clock. Preferably before you before you even get to the park, just so that way you don't have to worry about it, or if you have any issues. You could always call customer service, Disney customer service, and they can help walk you through it. One more little tip about the friends and family too, I will say. The boarding group process is a very fast process. Some people have a ton of people on their friends and family. I mean, I noticed that actually I do, because I have family that I go with and stuff. And I had a lot of extras, so I actually went through and just removed people that either it was like single day tickets and they're not coming again or anything like that. I removed them, so that way it's less clutter and it's easier for me to choose who I want to go. Preferably, if you could only have the people that you want to go on with on your friends and family, it would make it a lot easier. Alright, so let's get started on how to get a boarding group. Alright, at 8 o'clock on the dot, or I'm sorry, at park opening, pretty much on the dot, you're going to open up your My Disney Experience app. Alright, you're gonna get to a home screen that looks kind of like this. You'll see right on the home screen it talks about the Rise of the Resistance, and there's a little button there that says find out more. So you're gonna click that button and it's gonna bring you to this screen over here, which is the actual screen where you would get your boarding group. If you see where it says join boarding group, that should be in red. All right, it'll be in red, so that way you can click on it. If for some reason it's not red, click on my status. I actually had that issue where I went in and it wasn't red at 8 o'clock. I literally went 8 o'clock, my phone just turned 8 o'clock and I went in. So click on my status if you have that issue, and it'll bring you to another page where you can actually join a boarding group. So that's just another little tip. But if it's red for you, perfect, hit join boarding group. It's gonna bring you to this page over here where I was talking about earlier, where you need to choose your party. So pick everybody you're gonna go with very quickly and hit join boarding group. All right, and then hopefully you've done this fast enough where you have a boarding group. So if you did it all right, you'll get a screen that looks like this. It'll tell you what boarding group you are. If you see by the picture, I was boarding group 15. When they do call you, you will get a push notification that looks like this. I got called at 8:19 and the park opened at 8. All right. Also, just as another note, don't freak out. They don't call boarding groups immediately. So they actually didn't. I was checking the app constantly, and they didn't start until about, I would say, 8:10 calling boarding groups. I did ask a cast member about that, and they told me that they actually let the flow of people going into Galaxy's Edge, since the entrance of Rise of the Resistance is literally right by the front of Galaxy's Edge. They don't want a big clog right there, so they push everybody, let everybody go in towards, you know, Batu, by the shops, and going towards Smuggler's Run. They let everybody get in there, and then they'll start calling the boarding groups. So once your boarding group is called, you have 1 hour. 1 hour to get there, okay? You don't have to stay in Galaxy's Edge. You don't even have to stay in Hollywood Studios. You could literally, if you wanted to, get a boarding group and leave the park if you got like a high boarding group. I don't recommend it though, because unless you're like really close to the park, there's a good chance you might miss it. You don't want to miss it. But yeah, you have 1 hour to get to the ride. You get to the ride, you'll scan your magic band. If you don't have a magic band, you'll scan your park pass, and then you get onto the ride. And it's a great experience. I love the ride. I'm not gonna give any spoilers or anything like that, but definitely incredible, especially if you're a Star Wars fan. It was amazing. So that's pretty much it, guys, on how to get a boarding group on Galaxy's Edge. You know what, maybe one last tip. If you're not too tech savvy, maybe you're not good with the phones or something like that, and you have maybe you want somebody to do the boarding group that knows how to use a phone and can do it fast. Fast fingers, good reflexes, because it's that fast. Like I said, at 8 o'clock on the dot, even with the little error that I had to click my status, I still was able to get boarding group 15. So you want to be fast. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more content, and give me a like. Comment below if you have any other different tips that you'd like to share. And yeah, see you guys later. Bye.